Chapter 7 Part 2. From that night, Elias lived a double life, his heart a kingdom divided. By day, he was the man of Oakhaven. He walked with Alara through the endless, golden wheat fields, their conversations easy and familiar. They picnicked by the chattering river, sharing simple food and quieter dreams, and he found a fragile peace in her company. She spoke of recipes, of expanding the bakery, of building a life rooted in the familiar, nurturing soil of home. Her love was a sanctuary, a gentle and certain path to redemption. But by night, he was drawn to the carnival's periphery, to the intoxicating, shadowy world of Seraphine. Their meetings were stolen, charged with a dangerous electricity. They met in moon-dappled haylofts, the scent of dry hay and her exotic jasmine perfume filling his senses. They walked along the river under stormy, starless skies, the thunder echoing the tumult in his chest, sharing stories of lives lived in stark contrast. "This village is a cage of whispers and old shame," she whispered to him one rainy night, her body warm against his as they sheltered under the eaves of his silent mill. The rain drummed a frantic rhythm on the roof. "They have chained you to a past that isn't yours. Your spirit is too large for these little fields, these little mines. Come with me when we leave. See the world. Feel what it is to truly be alive, to burn bright instead of fading away." She spoke of freedom, of forgetting, of a passion that burned so brightly it consumed everything, even memory. Her kisses were desperate and empowering, tasting of wood smoke and stolen wine, and he drowned in them. He loved Alara's kindness, her steadiness. He craved Seraphine's intensity, her wildness. The guilt was a constant, gnawing companion, but the pull of both women was a tide too strong to resist. The village noticed. Whispers followed Elias, the baker's kind daughter by day, the mysterious fire dancer's shadow by night. The old scandal of his father was briefly forgotten, replaced by the new, juicy scandal of his heart. He saw the worried glance in Bren the baker's eyes and the knowing smirks of the other field hands. The catalyst for change came not from the present, but from the grave. Old Jem, the former stable hand for the Thorns, was dying. A man who had been with Elias's father since the beginning, who had taught a young Elias to ride. A ragged urchin found Elias in Malachi's fields, bearing a message that Jem was asking for him, his time short. The cottage was dark and smelled of boiled herbs and impending mortality. Jem lay on a narrow cot, his breath a ragged, sawing sound. "Elias, boy," he rasped his gnarled, trembling hand grasping Elias's wrist with surprising strength. "I held my tongue too long. The guilt, it eats a man from the inside out, worse than any fever." Elias leaned closer, his pulse a frantic drumbeat in his ears. "What is it, Jem? What guilt?" "The flour, it weren't your father's doing," the old man choked out, tears leaking from the corners of his milky eyes. "The grain was poisoned before it ever reached the mill, riddled with ergot. A blind man could see it. But I was paid good silver to look the other way when the bad shipment was unloaded. To say nothing." Elias's blood turned to ice in his veins. The world narrowed to the old man's labored breath. "Who?" he demanded, his voice a harsh whisper. "Who paid you?" "Malachi," Jem whispered, the name a death rattle. "Lord Croft's own steward. He was deep in debt to some dangerous men from the city. He'd bought a blighted harvest for a pittance and swapped it for the good grain, pocketing the difference. When Lord Croft fell ill, he needed a scapegoat. Someone to take the fall. Your father was proud, successful, honest, an easy target. The world shattered. Malachi. The man was now a wealthy, respected landowner, one of the most powerful men in the district. Elias had tipped his hat to him in the street. He had broken his back working the very fields Malachi had purchased with his blood money. The betrayal was a physical agony, a white-hot brand searing through a decade of grief, poverty, and shame. The gentle peace Alara offered suddenly felt like a palliative lie. The thrilling passion Seraphine promised now felt like the only righteous, the only possible path. A cold, Sharp rage flooded his veins, washing away all confusion. Revenge was no longer a dark fantasy, it was a sacred duty. Book 2, The Gathering Storm.